Yeah, it's definitely an interesting logo. I think I probably would have liked that third one better if the bottom word uh if the podcast font was the same as the top two. But I mean, this works out. We'll keep going with it for at least a little while anyway. Um, but yeah. Now we got another train wreck coming your way because we didn't really have a set topic going into this. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Marvel and more Marvel and
Norman
who
Reedus
knows
licking faces.
what now.
Norman Reedus licking faces.
Oh yeah, apparently that. Yeah, so all that and more on this week's episode of the Nerd Archive podcast. And let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Archive podcast.
Yeah, I love.
Yeah, but who the hell cares about wildlife anyway? All right. What's happening, everybody? Welcome once again to the Nerd Archive podcast. Justin here alongside Yadi and Lola. And this week we have a special guest. It is one of Yadi's best friends in the entire world. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Yadi the floor for the introduction there. So take it away, Yadi.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be very informal. Well, Jose is one of my best friends. He's been wanting to join us for a while, so welcome to the. And he's a newly father, so congrats officially
Congratulations.
in the podcast.
Congrats.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. You guys have been doing some great stuff. We were talking about the logo, and the name archive is in the name. And so I'm thinking like archive, like library, like bookshelves, and I think it'd be really cool to have like a library in outer space or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, like maybe
It's
like a portal where you have a little bit of like outer space and libraries and all in one podcast, magic, it's like Doctor Strange walking through the circle.
It's funny you should say it. Like it's funny you should say that, a library in space, because when I initially came up with the concept for the name, I was thinking more along the lines of the Jedi archives from Star Wars. That's where that idea initially came from, and then I guess it kind of moved away from like the Jedi archive part, but I mean it works. It works.
yeah. I was gonna say, funny you mentioned it because we did have it something like that.
Yeah.
For a brief
Oh
moment.
yeah. Oh man, and it's funny also that you should mention that Jose is a new father. I wanted to give a quick shout out to our friend Yabba the Hutt, Chris Yob, over at the No New Friends podcast, because he also is a new father. He actually his daughter was actually just born a day ago. So
Nice.
congrats to Chris Yob as well.
Yes,
Congrats,
yes. So being on
congrats.
the podcast, we just put the baby to sleep. So please, no shouting.
What?
Yeah, like well, Jose, you used to have a podcast, right?
I did. It was during the pandemic, and really, I just thought it was fun because I needed something to do. And I was talking to people about doing their own hobbies and how they were handling the pandemic and things like that. There were some pretty interesting people, like people started knitting, and people started running 5Ks virtually, and it was just interesting
Wow.
at the time. I stopped doing the podcast just because at the time I was focused on getting my master's, and so school and life and everything just took place, and so maybe down the road I'll start it again because I'm looking for something to do again. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, very, very.
Well, you're welcome here anytime you want.
I appreciate that.
Mm.
Maybe I don't know if you guys are familiar with like late night talk shows where they have like top 10 things going on this week. Maybe I'll just be a featured, what's going on, top 10 things. Boom. You know,
There you go.
nerd related.
That could be an interesting. That could be an interesting concept. I like that.
Yeah.
So how do you guys normally commit to a topic with
Oh,
with four people with four different minds?
that's the battle every week. But
Pretty much.
we always find something to talk about, and we always end up talking about Marvel or Star
Mhm.
Wars, or sometimes DC. Uh,
It's very brief though.
Yeah.
Up, it's more like a breeze. It's like, hey, okay, bye.
it's not our fault, like they're just not doing a good job. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, with everything that's upcoming in the DCU, I'd say give it time. We could wind up talking about them more. Whether it's in a positive light or a negative light that's entirely up to James Gunn at this point.
mhm.
He's got and we've said it before. He's got a lot of work ahead of him to prove everybody to either prove everybody wrong or prove everybody right.
Yeah.
It's all in his hands at this point.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I think some of the times the material that DC has is not enough, and so it's like lacking something. Each new movie comes out, and it's just like, man, like I don't know, it's just missing something. Like maybe an extra action scene, or maybe it's too silly. I don't know. It's just like they're reaching, but
Yeah, I think
I
it's
enjoy
because
like the
of
old
that.
school stuff.
Yeah,
Mm.
like
I
having
remember coming
the
home from school and watching the Batman show. Oh, that was my favorite thing. After that, came the Gargoyles. I don't know if you remember the Gargoyles animated series.
Ooh, yes. Yep.
That was
which
something
we were
else.
hoping for a new one to come out, but
Mhm.
they haven't announced anything yet. Nothing official, I guess.
I thought I saw a rumor about it, but it was like very brief, and I haven't seen anything come up from that since. So
Hmm.
it'd be an interesting one. I mean, they brought back the old school '90s X-Men cartoon for X-Men '97. So it's certainly possible.
And people are liking it.
Oh yeah, I haven't started watching it yet. I need to. I literally just finished yesterday. Actually, I just finished watching Tales of the Empire,
Mm.
and so that was we. I think one of our original plans was to talk about it, but not everybody's finished it. So
Yeah, I got to like the third episode.
Yadi, they're like 10 minutes episodes. Like, stop.
It's
Sit down for an
bit
hour and you'll
busy.
finish all of them.
Yadi doesn't like homework.
See, when I'm forced to watch something, it's like, no, I'm just kidding. I did watch it all.
I
I just
was gonna
finished
say
it
they're so
today.
short.
Yeah, no, I just finished it today.
Did you like
Man,
it?
I mean, you want to talk about it?
well,
Briefly or no?
Lewis has seen it, and I want to give him a chance to air his opinion on it. So I'm thinking we should probably kind of set that aside for next week.
Sounds good.
And
Sounds good.
especially, and since I think Yadi, you said that Jose, you haven't seen Tales of the Empire yet, have you?
Not yet. No.
Okay, so yeah, I think we'll set that aside. We're not going to spoil it for you, so no worries there.
we have oh yeah, Luis is not in person today, but he's in the chat.
In spirit.
Is he now?
Oh wow, look at that! You guys have found him. That's awesome. Yeah, I think they should bring back Darkwing Duck. They should
Ooh.
do
Ooh.
a live animated Darkwing Duck. That would be pretty cool.
It could be
Like-
interesting. I mean, they did Howard the Duck did make an appearance in which one of the Guardians movies was it?
He's
I think it's the
briefly in the
first one.
first one, and then
Yeah.
the third one, and then the special.
Right. So, I mean, I think they could do something based, I think they could do something based on that because I mean, the Howard the Duck appearances in those movies actually look pretty good. So,
Yeah, I think they did good with that. Like, and
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's that live animated, like you also mentioned,
CG
like the Lion King,
live.
Mufasa now coming.
Yeah, that Mufasa movie is pretty interesting. That's the prequel, right? So that's like
Yep.
before Mufasa was king.
Exactly.
But I saw in the trailer that Timon and Pumbaa might be there.
Yes,
That was confusing to me because I'm like, wait,
they're
unless
older.
they have their own separate story. I mean, in the same Lion King universe. But the trailer was confusing to me.
That's the thing, though. Having Timon and Pumbaa there would not make sense because if it's a prequel to the Lion King following Mufasa before he became king, like as a cub, then those two wouldn't even be alive.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
So it literally makes no sense.
yeah,
We'll just have to wait and see.
yeah. I'm all about like I'm always rooting for the bad guys. I'm really excited to see Scar's part. You know, I love gangster movies, and Scar was gangster in the Lion King. So
You would love our friend Ryan because he is the exact same way. Like he loves pissing Lewis off, saying like, "Oh, Scar was the hero of that movie and Mufasa was the villain," and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my god, it's so goddamn hilarious. And then I kind of egg him on a little bit because we were talking about it. What was it last? No, was it last week or the week before? When we were talking about about this prequel, and I'm just like, yeah, no, if you ask Ryan, it's the perfect villain origin story.
Yeah, it might have been 2 weeks ago. Yep, when the trailer came out.
Marco Phoenix in the chat, justice for Scar.
Shout out to Mark.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the Deadpool movie? Are you guys excited?
We
Oh,
are
yeah.
chomping at the bit for the pre-sales to go live so we can get tickets because we want to go see this more than anything else.
Yeah.
That has been the topic of several, at least 3 of our last 4 episodes, I think.
And it's probably it's gonna continue until the movie comes out.
Of course,
Yeah.
because it's not until the end of July.
Right? Yeah. Is it July? No, is it
20
July or June 26th?
Was it?
Oh,
No, I think
we're
it's July
confused.
26th.
One of them. This summer.
Do you guys have
Mm.
somebody who can like research while talking, or is it like everybody does their own part?
July 26th
Yeah.
is the release
There you
date. We
go.
kind of just
Kind of jump. Everybody
go
does
to
their
Dr.
thing.
Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is we asked the intern. The intern will give us the answers.
So I'm thinking Tony Stark comes back to life. You know, Captain America comes back because I heard that he's having his own show of on Disney Plus. It's gonna be like a 10 episode series, and it's gonna give you the time frame of what happened between Endgame and um what's the other one? The Avengers movie. What's the last one? No.
Endgame.
Endgame is the last game.
It was Endgame. So
Endgame.
I know the one you're talking about. It's supposed to chronicling his his time in returning the Infinity Stones back to their proper place.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm really excited about that. But that could make a switch to where it's like Deadpool goes through the time zones and brings everybody back. Oh, that'd be crazy. That would
It'd
be
be,
like
it would
bliss.
definitely be an interesting one, I think. Like with as chaotic as it's been, watching these trailers and just seeing what we've seen so far, like there's really no telling what they're going to pull off with this movie.
Yeah,
They're gonna kill a bunch of people, but also bring
yeah.
a bunch of people. So we'll see.
I think
There's
it'd be
gonna be
funny
a
if they
lot of
don't kill
variants.
anybody at all. It's like
Can you imagine?
that'd be funny. They
Well, yeah, I
just they
mean,
just arrest everybody and put them in jail.
prune them and throw them into geez, my brain stopped. What the hell is that place? The Void, or,
The
or
Yeah.
vote,
whatever.
yes.
Yeah, because you do see. I mean, because you do see Eliath in one of those trailers.
You think maybe that is where they're fighting in the void?
I think. I think
That
so. It's definitely possible that they're there. Lewis in the chat. It would make sense Timon and Pumbaa in the prequel because the lifespan of lions is 9 to 11 years and the meerkat and warthog up to 20 years.
there
All
you go,
right.
Mr. Scientific.
Nice facts. Mr. Google does it again.
Mm. Intern Steve, aka TR Factory TV.
Yeah, I was thinking that when we were talking about it, but I was like, we'll talk about it whenever it comes out.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. What do we want to talk about next then?
Oh, I should send Jose that list, I guess. Or so there is this list.
Mm.
You want to talk about that now?
Oh yeah,
Um,
the
the
top
top
20
20. Go ahead.
the top 20 best Marvel movie actors according to an online fan poll.
Mm.
And I thought that was an interesting idea. He was saying, yeah, we can look at that and see if we agree, with either their placement on, or either them being on this list at all, or their placement on the list as it stands. So I think that could be an interesting one.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, pull it up here in the computer.
Yeah. I'm moving windows around, so bear with us, folks.
He turned into a construction worker.
Maybe. All right. And the beauty of this list is it starts at number 20 rather than starting at number 1, so I don't have to scroll all the way down to do this in reverse order. So thank you, coveredgeekly.com, for doing that the right way.
Yeah, I saw this and I found it interesting. So I thought,
Mm.
maybe we can spring it up, see if we agree or not.
I gotcha. All right. All right. So let's start from the beginning. At number 20, Samuel L. Jackson has been voted as the 20th best Marvel movie actor. Sam Jackson's Nick Fury was the glue that held the Avengers together with his no-nonsense attitude and mysterious past. So what do you think? I mean, obviously, I think he should be on this list, period.
Yes. Right. That's what I was thinking too, is that he should be on this list. Now at number 20, I'm not sure yet. But
I don't
he's definitely one
agree
of the
that
best
he
ones.
should be on this list.
Why
I
not?
feel like there's a lot more actors that added to the Marvel universe than just screaming at a group of people 3 times in 3 different movies and then not being there the rest of the time. You know what I mean?
You see him as a part-timer.
Yeah. A
I can-
cameo, if you will.
Mm.
Okay.
I think the one he was in the most was Avengers, the first one, and
Iron Man.
um
Secret
no,
Invasion.
yeah,
Well, yeah, no,
not a great
that's
show.
right.
But
No,
that's
that,
supposed to be a him
but see,
show,
that's
though.
right. That's the thing, though. It's like that's why I mention it because it's like that's where he spent the most time as far as
Oh
his
yeah,
MCU appearances. But as far as like that show was not the best, and
yeah.
so I think that kind of brings it down a bit. And so while I feel like he does have a place on the list,
Hmm.
like maybe not 20th, maybe not that low, but I wouldn't say any higher than 15th.
So from the 15 to 20th range.
Based on what we've seen of him thus far
Mm-hmm.
and taking into account the abysmal Secret Invasion TV series, I'd say maybe 17th.
Yeah.
Let me ask Jose. Did you watch Secret Invasion, Jose?
I watched the first 2 episodes. Um, yeah, I just lost interest really, really
Okay.
quickly, especially when they killed his co-star. I'm like,
Yeah.
where do
Mm.
they go from there? You know, it didn't make sense to me. A lot of these Marvel series, they're just so short that they I feel like again like they're lacking, storylines. You know, um, it worked maybe for the pandemic just to have some content out there, but a lot of these series are lackluster. The only one I might have got on board with was Moon Knight.
All right.
Um,
Agree.
and then the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was just like fun to watch, just because like we needed something, but there was not really no meat on the bones. You know what I'm saying with that series. Um, yeah, I stopped once. She Hulk came on. I was like, I'm done. I'm done for a little bit. You know.
I had the same opinion of the She-Hulk series.
Mm.
I wasn't necessarily done with the MCU, but it's just like, oh, what are they doing?
And it's sad because there was a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential with all of these shows, But I feel like when you try to put so much humor, they need to go back to, or they need to have like a well balance of drama and humor, and they really have to. They're action movies, right? There needs to be like some more dramatic action scenes.
At the end of the day, it comes down to writing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that's where a number of the Disney Plus shows lack
Hmm.
is in compelling writing.
Hmm.
So it didn't, like, some of those just didn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
Like She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, it didn't work. Like, and I mean, what's even stupider is Secret Invasion was originally supposed to be a movie.
Hmm.
They should have just kept it as a movie.
I think they can put less work in a show. So
Wait, I think that's
that's why they
interesting.
did it.
That you say that, Justin, that it should have been kept a movie. I think they didn't have enough for a movie. They didn't have what it took. Imagine they would have made it a movie and it was the worst Marvel movie in the world. Then they would have looked like, you know,
I think
deer in
it's
headlights.
I think it still would have drawn more because, and Yadi said this as well. I think and I do agree, it would have drawn more as a movie than it had been as a series. And it's funny that, Yadi, you were saying it's like they do less work with a series. Honestly, I think they kind of stretched it out a bit more than they should have in making it a series and just did more work in that respect for just so little payoff.
Right.
It did not work.
When I say less work, it's more they put less effort in the CGI, like we've seen, obviously.
Mm.
Because they don't have that pressure of like selling tickets. They already have people that pay for the service. So it's not like they're gonna they're not attracting people. They're trying to keep people to just pay this monthly thing, and that's why they're just dragging it and putting like once a week and whatnot, um, just to keep the people there, paying the
Mm.
Yeah.
monthly subscription or yearly or whatever it is. But yeah, that's what I mentioned. That it's just more
Hmm.
of that. The
Yeah,
less
no, I think you
frequency.
have a
Yeah.
good point. Uh um it's like a well, I can't think of the word, but it's like a little break in between the movies, right? But the more these shows keep coming on, the more they are lackluster. They rub off on when the movie comes out, and that I think is really true when it comes to the Marvels and Miss Marvels. It's almost like the budget was off for the Marvels, and then when Miss Marvel came on, it was like the same budget, and it was just like terrible at the box office. You know, so they missed the point on that.
Yeah,
Which is
I did enjoy the show more than the movie. At
Mhm.
least with those. But you still haven't seen the show, Justin, right?
no, I haven't. And it's funny, like you were saying that because I was just about to say it's like I've heard a lot of good things about Miss Marvel, the series, and that's what makes the failure of the Marvels so like that much more disappointing because it's like she, from what I was told, carried that entire movie and it's like to basically an abysmal failure. And at the end of the day, it just comes down, like I said, it just comes down to writing.
It's still
You,
like the Marvels movie. It's better than Secret Invasion.
Yeah, you know,
yeah, but how much is that actually saying?
yeah, it's terrible. I thought Game of Thrones was gonna come out, hey, with some dragons and Cersei, and what was her character on Game of Thrones? I thought she was gonna burn everybody to death, and it was just terrible.
Eh,
she
oh yeah.
did she did some damage at the end of the. You should watch the last episode of Secret Invasion.
Oh my
See
god.
how it ended.
Uh,
The only show that I'm actually looking forward to is the Daredevil series.
I think a
ooh.
lot.
They did
Yeah.
such a good job on Netflix, and I want to see that translated into Marvel.
Mm,
Mm.
I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think I heard that they shortened the season. So it's not going to be, I think it was supposed to be like 18 episodes, but I think they
Mhm.
shortened it. I'm not sure exactly how many episodes it is now, but
Yeah, I think with Bob Iger taking charge, he wanted to dial it back on the shows
Yeah. As any
to
well,
create
CEO would.
more, yeah, to create more, just to create better products later.
well, it makes sense because with the reception of what we've been getting recently from Marvel, not being the best, it makes sense to want to dial certain things back and revisit or just look into like okay, what can we do to make this better?
Mhm.
And so and that's why what was it, the new Captain America movie had numerous and massive reshoots because it
Hmm.
just wasn't tracking well with test audiences. And so they had to go back and just reshoot, I think, like 3 or 4 major parts of that movie. And like, people just don't have any faith that that movie is going to be any good.
Mhm.
How do they choose test? Like what was it that you called them?
Test
Test
audiences,
audience.
Test audiences?
to be honest, I'm not sure how they go about selecting those.
And do
You
they make
sign
them
up.
Um,
sign a contract so they don't say shit?
yeah, you
I would assume that you would have to sign an NDA.
in my time as an actor, because
Oh
I
yeah, I
lived in
forgot about
California for a
this.
No
while.
shit.
That's pretty cool.
Essentially, there's the Screen Actors Guild.
Mhm.
A lot of those tests are already like established actors. you
Oh,
know, or somebody who's invited as a Screen Actors Guild guest.
Hmm.
And so you get like a golden ticket. Essentially, you know what you're getting into when it comes to like you know, NDAs, and so they hand pick who they're allowed to show the movie to, which is pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that you did acting
Yeah, I was
for a
doing my
while.
thing for a little bit, you know.
Do
I was
tell.
in my Robert De Niro phase. You know, I wanted to get guns and you know be in action movies too. So you know,
That's awesome.
I
Very
did a
cool.
lot of background work for like Glee and NCIS.
Ooh,
I did a
good
lot of
show.
pilot
Cool.
shows. It was really cool. I got to be on set, Paramount Studios, you know, Disney Studios, things like that. It was really nice.
Sick.
Yeah, I forgot about that little thing you guys didn't know. So
Yeah,
Nice.
come on, man. You're you're slacking,
well,
man.
underselling. It's just underselling. So
How do you get into that?
Um, so when I moved to LA, there's a you have to go through like a casting company. There's a casting company out there called Central Casting, and essentially, you have to wake up really early. You go into a building where there's maybe 500, you know, people that have the same idea as you,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to wait online. And once you get into the building, they take a quick headshot of you, and then you create a resume, and they'll say something like, "We'll call you if if needed." And then you know, there's so many shows that are being shot. So, for example, right, if I shave my head, I look like a gangster. So NCIS will be like, "Hey, we're looking for a person that's, you know, bald head, 5'6", you know, weight description. Do you know anybody?" And Central Casting will go through a database, and then they would call you based on what that movie is looking for. And so then they'll send you a text message. It's like a drug deal, really. They'll send you like a drug deal, and they'll say the location is this. Be there between 3 a.m. And 11 p.m. at night. And so if you're, you know, and it's like a quick like reply yes if you're interested. So you do that, and then you show up, and you get to be on set. You know, it's really cool. They have you know, like food casting that they could just essentially lay out all day, because you won't be able to be in every scene, but they might need you in a different scene. So they'll say, "Hey, like go change your clothes," you know, and then you could be sitting around for hours. You're getting minimum wage, but when they call you back, you know, you do your thing for like 1 or 2 seconds, and then they have you holding into this in this big like warehouse. It's really really cool. It's interesting.
And do you need to have like prior experience to be able to do that?
No, no.
That's cool.
As long as you
Mm.
fit the experience, you
Yeah.
know, they'll call you in. It's really cool because like, you know, the camera is like right here and you're behind, and then the like the director there on set will be like, walk across the, you know, walk across the street, and then he'll tap you when it's ready. And so once he taps you, you just walk across the street, and that's your scene, you know. And then you go back to the warehouse, and then it'll be like, you know, when they say yes, you know, for example, you know, raise your hand, you know, and then you do the scene or whatever, and then you go back to the warehouse, and then they start eliminating people as the day go by. But it's long hours. It's really good money if you're you know, always picked,
Mhm.
because you know that whatever it is in LA is like $11 an hour. Maybe at the time, you know, you could be there on set for, you know, 10 hours collecting minimum wage, and you know you're good. Essentially, you're getting paid to do nothing.
That's
is
pretty
this
cool.
essentially
Yeah.
what duty?
Oh,
Judy,
jury
what?
duty.
There you go.
Yeah, it's almost like that. But they have, food out there laid out. There's so many people that you could meet. I remember when I was out there, people were doing like break dancing to keep entertained. Some people would be, new on set, like never seen each other before, but now they're like making out because there's nothing to do. Like it's wild. It's wild.
That's crazy. There's
Yeah.
this lady I used to follow on TikTok, like a year or so ago, and then she showed up in the Captain America show. The Falcon
Well,
and the
as an
Winter Soldier.
actor, like
She's
as
the
the
yeah.
background.
She's
Oh.
well, no, she's the actress that plays the wife of the guy they choose to be Captain America, the army guy. I forget his
Oh,
name,
okay.
John something.
Uh-huh.
So I was like,
That's really cool.
"What are you doing there?"
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I
no,
think
it's
that
really, really cool. You have to go through different stages of SAG aftra. Essentially, like you get paid really big bucks if you have a speaking role. Like
Mm.
that's when you know you've made it. It could be the smallest thing, like, yes, officer, you know, you get paid really, really big bucks because then you're a part of the Screen Actors Guild community. And then you start booking more jobs, more jobs, more jobs. Um, my really good friend Malcolm, he I don't know if should talk about this on live television, but he moved out there, and that's another reason why I moved to California is because I wanted to hang out and try something different since he was out there. But he wanted to be a movie director and started out really low doing background work, continued, hustled, and now he's in production for the kid show Blippy. And so he gets to travel all around the world, doing production set for this TV show.
I
And so
keep
he started
forgetting to invite him.
he's like his journey, he would be on like background sets and he would be wearing like police officer uniforms, and then you could see him. It's a out of mind experience because you're on set all day and then you're watching TV and you get that 1 or 2 minute glimpse of yourself. It's I can't explain it. It's like it's really wild.
He did a
Yeah.
commercial recently. Well, at least this last year.
Yeah, it's so funny because he did a commercial about, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he's a father in the commercial and he goes through the stages with his child where it's like, the child is being born and then the child goes through like high school and then, you know, um he passes away in the commercial, and it's like I think a life insurance commercial if I'm not mistaken. And anyway, long story short, he's at a Tampa Bay Rays game, and you know how like in the where you collect the like food courts and everything like that, they got TVs. He saw himself on one of the TVs and took a picture. It's a really out of mind experience.
I think
That's
being like
awesome.
being in a set or in the background of something, it's
Mm.
on my bucket list because
Yeah,
I kind of want to be on something somewhere
yeah, yeah.
somehow.
You should do it. They got I don't know about Orlando, but central casting is everywhere.
Mm,
And so essentially, like, TV and commercials are always being filmed out here,
Mm.
and so especially with the big players like Disney and Universal, um, you should look into it. It's if you have the opportunity to get some extra income, because it's minimum wage. If you got the fit that the right look that they're looking for, it's a quick buck.
True enough. Well, and I've also seen and that's the thing though, is like because even if you don't like I've seen like advertisements for like if you want to get into like voice acting, like they
mhm.
have like they have agencies to do that, and like
Mhm.
that's even better because you can do a lot of that, especially nowadays remote as well.
Mhm.
So it's
All
like if
this
you've got
equipment that we bought.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, utilize that because, like I say, and literally all you would need, like if you have a voice they're looking for, the same like this with the same idea is if you have like a particular face that they're looking for, like you can definitely get into something like that.
Yeah,
I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah,
it's a
want to
really
check
cool
it out.
experience.
Mm.
Want to see if there's anything in Detroit, well, Lansing, but
Mm.
Detroit more likely Detroit has more stuff because I know they
Mhm.
filmed some superhero movies down there. Not too long ago, but I don't remember which one it was. Gotta look it up. Being a major city and whatnot. Oh, Chicago is
Mm.
nearby too. Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, Chicago has so much. It's wild.
Mm.
one day.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. All right. Shall we get back into this list?
Yeah, let's
I
do
do.
it.
I do want to mention. I want to go back to Bob Iger and everything like that. And the budgets that they do to their Marvel films.
Hmm.
Since they're scaling back, they have to put a lot of thought into what's going on in Orlando. Universal is opening Epic, I think this year or next year, and
Uh-huh.
so that's supposed to be, you know, they're saying that Universal is gonna top Disney or maybe even surpass Disney sales with that. So like I feel like Disney's on the hot seat. I'm really really excited. I don't do roller coasters, but I'm definitely interested in doing the Donkey Kong when it comes out. That's gonna be something else. So
I
if
saw
they
I saw like the attraction, like they have this part where it looks like it's just jumping off the
uh
railing
Oh
and he
yeah.
yeah
goes back on it, but it's like a new type of roller coaster. I don't know, like it's on the side or something.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Look pretty
I think
cool.
they have
So
a yeah, I think they have a similar one.
if they're not gonna put the budget into the Marvel films, at least create another Disney park. I think that's needed.
I think it's definitely it's definitely doable for them, but will they do it? Who knows?
They have so much land there. It's just stupid.
They got they got enough space to do something.
They have a park they're not even using. It's abandoned.
Which
So
one?
there's a water park. It's
Oh
abandoned.
yeah, that's right.
It's near
The
Port
wilderness.
Orleans. I think it's more Port Orleans
Oh,
area
okay.
Mm.
back there.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Well,
They've been they should have been did a villains theme park or superhero theme park.
Epico,
I
yeah.
think
yeah,
they should do
mm.
something like that.
they should go all out on Marvel. But I think
Yeah.
that them allowing Universal to still use some of the names, um, I don't know. There's might be something there.
Well, that's another thing. It's like you got to wonder like what's the agreement between the two of them and how long is that going to last?
Yeah. Speaking of lackluster films and sharing names, Sony has dropped terrible movies in the past 10 years. I don't know if anybody got to see Madam Web. I haven't yet. But do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I haven't seen it, so I can't really say. But I mean, people have just been ripping this movie to shreds
Hmm.
since it's come out. So it doesn't I don't hold out a lot of hope uh
Yeah.
Yeah, I
for
don't think
it
none of us
being,
have seen it.
yeah. Eventually I will force myself to watch it and then I'll be able
Because
to give
that's
my
supposed to be
opinion on
like
it.
a prequel to Spider Man, right?
So
Or
Madam Web is typically an older person in the comics.
Right.
So like this is the origin basically.
Hmm.
So yeah, like it will be before Spider Man.
gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. These companies, they just want the name and they want ticket sales. Like, we need content. We need some real shit. Oh, can you curse on here?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can't
Too
already.
late.
yeah.
Yeah, it's too
It's
late.
like, yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, no, we talked about this before. It's like Sony is just kind of throwing stuff out there, because they want to be able to keep the Spider-Man and that universe and all those characters that they have the movie rights to, because they don't want it, like, if it goes too long, it reverts back to Marvel, which means it reverts to Disney. And so they're just continuing to throw shit out there in order to maintain that hold on that property. And I'm just like, why are you doing this? Like, why not just, because Marvel Studios has proven that they seem to know what they're doing with Spider-Man when they were given the reins to do Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, and all that. Like, those were, in my opinion, really, really good. And it's like, it's unfortunate, in my opinion, that Sony got to be a part of that, because it's like, what did Sony really do besides, oh, we distributed it? Marvel Studios did all the work. So, and yet Sony gets most of the money, at least in their initial deal.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sony, I'm just kidding. No, we can go. We can go to that.
Yeah, no, we can talk about that another time, because that's another thing that I would like to talk about, but that can wait, because we got off the rails on this already, a bit of a train wreck episode. So getting back to the list at number 19 is Sir Patrick Stewart.
Should be higher on the list.
I
I
think so
agree.
too.
I
Yeah.
agree.
'Cause
So
when you say Professor X, all I picture is him. Even
Yeah.
though we've seen other actors play it, which they did good, still him is the example of what Professor X is.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think.
King Mike X in the chat. Hello, how you doing, sir? Welcome aboard. Glad to have you once more. Yeah, I agree. Patrick Stewart should be a lot higher on this list than he is. I honestly think he should be at least top 10.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, at least they have him on the list.
Well, yeah, but he should be way higher. Like, come on, fans, what the hell are you guys doing? Jose, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think Yadiel is right. You want to pick an actor who depicts the character.
Mm,
Nobody else has really been able to um, highlight those comic book features like him.
mm.
So I
Oh,
agree.
absolutely, absolutely,
He does need to be higher on the list because he's a good actor.
absolutely.
When Scarlet Witch popped his head off, you felt that. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
so he needs to be at least top 10.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely agree. King Mike X in the chat says, just finished this week's episode of Remy's Roundtable. Awesome. Awesome. That was that's usually a pretty good show. All right. All right, so moving into number 18. Oh my God. Number 18 is Brie Larson.
I think she's good where she's at.
I think she shouldn't even be on this list, but if she has to be on the list, she needs to be 20.
I like her. Like she did.
I like her too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she did good with her thing. With Captain Marvel. Um, it's more of a serious. I don't remember the comics on the character itself, but at least I do picture that character more serious, which she's done. I don't know how else you can play that character. Um, because if you bring comedy to it or more comedy to it, like it's just gonna be more of a Thor Ragnarok, which a lot of people, oh no, Love and Thunder, which a lot of
Yeah.
people didn't like.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say comedy in terms of Captain Marvel, but I would honestly I would have I would have liked to see the character show a bit more emotion and, at least have like a bit more in terms of stakes, something to actually fight for instead of just having this overpowered character that,
Oh,
whose life isn't really at risk and you don't really have much else to fight for. And the portrayal was to me just kind of wooden. Like it.
that's when you need to watch the Marvels. Then, if you wanted to see some of that, because
Mm.
it is a change from the first movie and Endgame to that movie. Like
I got you there. Yeah, because I'm basing my opinion at this point on the first Captain Marvel movie, and then obviously her appearance in Endgame.
yeah, and you
So,
gotta keep in mind that she didn't have her memories too, so she wasn't
Mm.
gonna show any emotions. There was no history or past that she could remember. She was just so confused. So I think she
yeah,
played it well.
I got you.
I
And I
agree.
mean, and not just and well, there's more to it, like that kind of drives my opinion of where she should or shouldn't be on this list.
Hmm.
But it's getting into territory that we don't really delve into on this podcast. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So,
Yeah, she's in a good spot, I guess, there, but I think she is top 20.
Yeah.
what do you think?
You guys have good points. I didn't see any of the cat Marvels or so I don't have an opinion, but
I got you. I got you.
She got some hate. That's it.
I
No
just I didn't
worries.
watch
No, I got you. I mean, it's obviously, yeah, there are certain characters that don't interest, that don't really interest everybody. So no
Hmm.
big worries there. Going into number 17, Zoe Saldana.
I think she needed to be in the top 10. She's a good actress. She doesn't deserve 17. Justice for Zaldana.
See, I agree that she's a good actress, but I don't think that this is her type of role.
Mm. Do you think
I wasn't
she
really a fan
over?
of Gamora, to be
Okay.
completely honest with you. Same thing with Nebula. I feel like I don't know, very bland, and it was always the same emotion of like my daddy betrayed me. It's like okay, we get it, you know.
Well, true enough, because well, I mean, yeah, once again, not all characters are going to resonate with everybody, and that's fine. Um, I'm of the opinion that yeah, she should be a little higher on the list. Maybe not top 10, but definitely within the top 15. Um,
I
I'd
agree.
say 13, maybe 12. What do you think, Yadi?
Yeah, I don't know where to place her, but she is a good actress, and she
Hmm.
played well that character.
Yeah.
And we can see the evolution until Endgame, obviously, and then it's a completely different character, which she did well with
Oh yeah.
the Guardians 3.
Oh yeah, it's weird. That's like that. She started to like become a little bit of a different character as the movies progressed, but then of course, her death in Infinity War and then her return and all the events through Guardians 3 kind of it seemed like a bit of a reversion of her
Mhm.
character. So,
Starting over.
yeah, I don't know if that was kind of the best way to do that, but if it works. All right, coming in at number 16, Dave Bautista.
Should not be on this list at all.
Yeah. I maybe agree with that.
Yeah.
I
I
like it
mean,
because
so
he play
if the
even though
list
he
is
uh-huh.
oh
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. If the list is like how well do actors match their character,
Mhm.
then yeah, he should be top and not 16. But if it's just, oh, I like characters, let me make a list, then he don't deserve to be on there. You know,
Well,
but
the
he matches the character really well, I feel.
yeah, the list is best Marvel movie actors. He's not one of the top 20 best Marvel movie actors by
Yeah.
any long shot. I would like Angela Bassett or Letitia Wright, great Marvel actors. But then, like Dave Bautista, he's again there for a couple of minutes, or in the movies, but it's all funny.
Mhm.
Like maybe he
Now,
has
but
that whole thing about like, yeah, my wife and daughter are dead, and they add like that much depth to the character, and that's where they stopped it.
Mhm. The dramatic
true.
scene. I mean, I got to be honest. I've never read a comic book, so I don't know what his role is supposed to be. I don't know if he's actually a really funny animated character, and so if Dave Batista, adds a lot of humor in there, and so then he's a great actor. That's what I was trying to get at. I
Oh
never
yeah.
read. I don't know enough about Marvel until a movie comes out.
Mm.
And so he's not an actor that should be on a top list because like Lola said he doesn't have a lot of time, and it's one-sided.
See, what I like about his character is that he definitely is not trying to be funny, um, which makes it more funny and hilarious every time that he is interacting with the others.
Mhm.
Like it. That's what to me made it good because he's not just this muscle guy. And he actually wanted to be more of a drama character and whatnot, but it didn't fit in this one. Um,
Mhm.
but I do feel like he played it as well as someone could for that specific character.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree on that part. Like he definitely played this character very, very well. And like you were saying, like he wasn't trying to be funny. Um, but like he turned those like attempted serious moments and how like very literal and serious his character was, and it just became absolutely funny. And so like I think he kind of should be on this list, but I think he should be as far as like greatest, I think he should be a bit lower. But I feel he does deserve to be on the list.
Mhm.
Number
Uh
15.
yep. Number 15, Paul Rudd, Ant-Man.
Yeah, I think he's good where he's at.
Yeah,
15
me
is
too.
is good for me.
Hmm.
It's a good number for him.
Yeah, like I I would have expected more from the character to be honest, but yeah, I will see him. I like him, but I expected more from that.
Hmm. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, and I agree. I agree with everyone else here. I think he is in a good spot where he's at now. Um, even with the like the below average performance, in my opinion, from the most recent Ant-Man movie.
Hmm.
Like it wasn't the best. The other movies I think were significantly better, but no big worries there.
Which reminds me of this like the joke that they have on the one of the trailers for Deadpool, that when the helmet for him opens, or like at least like the Ant-Man's helmet opens and you see the skull,
Yeah.
and Ryan Reynolds is like, "Oh, Horror finally aged."
Oh man, That's an that'd be an interesting segue into number 14, Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I like where he's at too. I didn't like his characters in the first movie, like the way he portrayed himself, but he's growing on me. I'm really
Hmm.
excited to see what happens in the future.
I say top 10. I like Benedict Cumberbatch. He's a really good actor,
Hmm.
and I feel like Doctor Strange goes through a lot. Like it's not just steady, nor is it like starting at a drop and then going up, or starting at a top and then going down. There's
Hmm.
definitely some spikes in his like character of like, hey, this is really good. Oh, now everything is shitty. Okay.
I was like, what was that noise?
I thought
You
It's
that
top
was
time?
Lola. I thought he.
the doggo being a turd again. Yadi, what do you think?
Yeah, I do believe that he could be top 10.
Hmm.
He could go up a few more spots.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Ex-
I I tend to agree. He should be a little bit. He should definitely be higher. I think I would probably, depending on who we have coming up in this list, because I'm
Mhm.
just kind of scrolling down, so I'm literally reacting to him as I see it. Like I haven't really seen the rest of this list, and so I would either put him like just in the top 10 or maybe right outside the top 10, because I loved his performance in the first Doctor Strange. And I think he did pretty well in the second one, despite the fact that like overall I wasn't really a big fan of the second movie. Um, and then obviously his performance in No Way Home was really good as well.
Agree.
So yeah, so I think I would put him like definitely 11th, if not going into 10th, depending on what we get with the rest of this list. All right, number 13, lucky number 13, Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson.
Yeah, he needs to be higher on the list, closer to 20, in my opinion. He not so much of acting that I
Mm,
get from him. If we talk about all these characters that don't get enough screen time, he definitely don't get enough screen time to be so low on the list.
Yeah, I think he got more in. Yeah, I wouldn't put it top 10. No
no,
offense,
yeah,
but
I kind of agree. Like he, as it stands now, 13th, I think based on what we've seen of him thus far is a little bit too high. I would definitely put him, I would put him below, I think just below 15.
I
15 to
agree.
20,
Yeah,
somewhere in that range, possibly all the way down to 20.
I think him and Zoe Saldana to switch places on the list.
yeah. What was theirs?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, and coming in at number 12, Elizabeth Olsen, the Scarlet Witch.
Top 10.
She should be lower on the list for sure. That whole scene about the kids and everything like that, you could feel that,
Mhm.
especially being a new dad. Because we're talking about acting, right? She definitely deserved to be top 10.
She's really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's a really good actress, yeah.
Mm, mm. Absolutely. I would say a definite top 10 that she should be significantly higher in that ranking. Yeah, her performance in WandaVision, and
Mm-hmm.
her performance in Doctor Strange. Like I said, as disappointing as that movie was on the whole,
She
her
did great.
performance,
Yeah.
she did a great job on that movie. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was thoroughly impressed. Um, Anything else we got on this one?
Mhm.
Number
Justice for
11.
What now?
Justice
just-
for Olsen.
I gotcha. No worries there. Coming in at number 11, Chris Pratt, Star-Lord.
Yeah, I like where he's at. He's
Hmm.
like right in between top 10, and top 20. When we talk about acting, when he lost his whole team
Yeah.
in the Avengers movie, you felt that.
Yeah, I see him as top 10 too because he did a great job as Star-Lord.
Oh,
Even if he
absolutely.
got hate in Infinity War. I mean, who didn't hate him at that time? But not him, Star-Lord.
Yeah. That whole series of events, it makes a lot of sense. And when a character gets that kind of grief, he's doing a good job. I would
Exactly.
definitely keep him in the spot that he's in 11th. And so based on that, I would actually put Benedict in the number 10 spot ahead of him. So, and now we'll see who they picked as the top 10. Actually, no, wait, Lola, your thoughts on Chris Pratt?
I put him between the 18 and 20.
Dang.
Yeah,
He didn't make you feel anything?
nothing. Not at all. Not even a chuckle.
Everybody keeps going to the back of the list, so people that were at the back of the list are moving up.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, nope, you go to the back. Everyone else can move up. No,
Yeah.
you go to the back.
At this
Now
point, Samuel Jackson, it's not like 15.
Oh man, that's great. All right, and now for the top 10, Tom Hiddleston, Loki.
Top
He's a
5
really
or
good actor.
6.
Yeah.
Really good actor.
Man's got range, man's got comedy, man's got seriousness, drama. He'll make you cry. Definitely top 5 or 6.
I gotcha.
Oh, look who decided to show up.
Hey, Lewis finally showed up. All right. Okay, so give us a second. We're gonna go ahead and switch this over to our 5-person setup, and yeah, technical difficulty.
Pause.
Yeah, right.
Is this a bathroom break or no?
Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah,
If you want to.
we're. Yeah, if Actually,
you want
you know-
to, you don't have to. Right?
yeah, you don't have to. Let me go ahead and bring the 5-screen thing up. I gotta bring. All right, so Lewis is in the middle as he usually is. Ha ha ha.
Oh God, please no!
Well, you're already in the middle there. It doesn't really matter, so no big worries. All right, shoot. There's you and.
You
All right.
made
Bear with us, folks. Shoot and transition.
Wow, look at that.
The magic
Oh,
of
goodness.
editing. Look what the cat dragged in.
I am here.
Yay!
I'm glad I get the full experience now.
I know.
And we're an hour and 10 minutes in, so yeah. All right, so just in time to get your opinion on Tom Hiddleston's placement in this list. What do you think?
What number is he on?
10.
10. I think that he should be top 5.
Exactly what Lola said. Elaborate a little bit.
I think that the fact that we got so much of him and his arc from turning from a villain to a hero,
Mhm.
and everyone loving his character from the get-go as a villain, and then loving him more as his character close out. I think that just and not only his character, his acting as Loki, he embodied Loki.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's one of those that, just like Robert Downey Jr. Have you mentioned him yet?
We're just going through this list, and no, we haven't gotten.
Okay. I think I know where
You
he's
want
going
to
to be,
see?
but
If you want to
It's
see the
possible.
list, it's in
possible.
the Discord.
no,
Just
I
don't
want
scroll. Don't
No,
scroll all the way
This-
down. But
yeah,
you can go.
I don't know about everyone else, but my reaction is entirely organic. I haven't gone through
Yeah,
like
I don't-
everything yet, so I'm reacting to each one as we go.
I saw
I
the
don't-
first one, but that's it.
number one.
No.
I
They actually.
found this list, so I looked through it all.
Okay,
so
got
I
it,
sent
got
it to the group.
I gotcha. Yeah, and they actually did it in the proper order, starting with number 20 and going to
Right,
number 1.
okay.
So I didn't have to scroll all the way down to do it in reverse order, which works out.
I love how you guys started talking about number 20 and then it veered off.
Well, honestly,
Hey, that's the important. Like it was information I forgot about Jose.
yeah, and
yeah, the acting. I was thinking about
Yes.
it. I didn't know if you guys talked about it because I caught it right after you guys were talking for
Yeah.
a little bit.
something that Yadi
I
neglected to
couldn't-
mention.
I couldn't
It's a
text too much or
surprise.
comment too much because I was driving.
I gotcha.
So, but going real quick, Samuel L. Jackson, I agree with Justin. He should be higher than that, but not higher than 15 because
you get
what
it
Lola
up.
said, he's more of a cameo than anything else, except for Avengers 1.
He's like, surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. And then Project Stewart should have been higher than that.
Yeah.
Brie Larson shouldn't have been in this list at all.
My man.
Zoe Saldana, I think that 17, she could have done a little bit. She could have been a little bit better, but that's also a poll. So the votes. Dave Bautista, I think the only reason he didn't get higher is because he's more of a comedy character as Drax, but he killed it.
Oh yeah, he definitely made it work.
Yeah, Paul Rudd, I think he's fine at 15. Benedict Cumberbatch, I think he should have been higher than 14. Anthony Mackie, I think he did great. I think he was better. To me, his character and his acting was better as a psychic than anything else. Elizabeth Olsen, I think that she should have been in top 10 because just the one scene, you took everything from me. That showed a lot of emotion. Although her face looked like she wanted to laugh when she said it. Chris Pratt, I think that 11 is too low for him, especially since Guardians of the Galaxy, it's kind of carrying the franchise right now. And Tom Hiddleston, I think he should have been top 5. Like I said before, just people love him. I think that he is just an amazing actor, regardless of what he does.
And he
Even
got
when-
love from the beginning, being
Yeah.
just a villain.
Yeah, exactly.
I absolutely agree. Like his first appearance in his first appearance in Thor, nobody really knew where that character was going to go, and it's like I wasn't as impressed, I guess, with his first appearance in the first Thor movie, but then everything coming after that, him being the main villain in Avengers, it worked, and then his that entire story through the Loki series,
Right.
and then his performance in the Thor movies, coming after the first one, up until his character's death in Infinity War.
Right.
But
Everyone felt that.
especially, yeah, absolutely, and like I said, his performance throughout the entirety of the Loki series, especially season 2, just
Agreed.
really cemented his spot, I think, in this list, and I do believe that he should be at the very least top 5.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, and going into number 9, Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner.
I think that he's good, but not top 20 in my opinion.
No, I
Mainly
think he needs
because
to be top 20, but not top 10.
he is
Hmm.
mostly CGI, so you don't get to see
Right.
acting.
He's more of a voice actor than anything else.
True.
right.
I
It's
mean,
like
they
if we
gave
put
him.
Vin Diesel on top 20, I'm
Mm.
just kidding.
Well, I think they gave him a bit more when they brought in Smart Hulk,
Right.
which didn't really like. For me, it just didn't resonate as well. Smart Hulk, but it is what it is. I think it probably because Mark Ruffalo wanted to do a bit more than just be like a big growly green rage monster. But I mean, come on, that's exactly
Then
what the
wrong
Hulk is.
character.
Right. That's that's the thing. Like, but I didn't really feel him at first when he made when he appeared in Avengers as Bruce Banner, but he's kind of grown into that character, and so he definitely works as Bruce. But I definitely I think he should be top 20, but I'm thinking more closer to the tail end.
Yeah, I think that
I'd say 19 or 20
right. I think
easily,
that
but
Patrick Stewart and him should just switch spots.
yeah, I think so too. Lola, what do you think?
I say 10 to 15. I think that his acting in the first Avengers, going from like, yeah, I'm this super smart guy, may have a temper, and then going to like, oh, this happened, and then the whole, spit it back out, and you feel that, then it's like, yeah, that's good acting. Same thing with Avengers Age of Ultron, where he's like, it's all super like, we're science bros, but then like when shit hits the fan, it's like,
Mm.
I'm a smart guy and we're gonna figure this shit out and we're gonna make it work.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you, especially with that scene with from the first Avengers movie when he was talking about like his experience, like how like I mean, and quoting him like, I got low, I didn't see a way out, so I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out.
Right.
Like that was just like that was when it's like when comic books get real.
Right.
And like that delves into something that you do not often see in comic book characters
On screen.
especially. Yeah. And just like that I think that hit pretty hard.
I think going back to Jose's point in the beginning of the list, I think that they should do less comedic and more of that type. Like you don't have to
Some
go
real gangster
all
shit.
yeah, exactly.
I
Exactly.
had
Like you
read
should
a
shave your
couple.
head.
I had read a couple months ago about how they had this like blueprint for the Marvel movies, and then Guardians of the Galaxy came out, and people seem to really like that because it's got the comedy aspect of it, but it's got too much comedy to some extent. And then they started using that as the blueprint instead, and now all of the Marvel movies have too much comedy instead of that serious undertones that it's meant to have because, we're superheroes and the world is ending, and how do we save everybody?
Right. And
That's a really good point. I think the comedic part works for Guardians of the Galaxy because there's too many
Absolutely.
characters.
Yeah.
right.
You know, there's just so much dialogue and they have to split it, so why not make it funny? Right?
Right.
But when you make so much humor into something like Thor, it's like, come on, man, like, really? And I think the opposite, when there's too much dramatic scenes for so many characters, like Eternals, it
Mhm.
doesn't work for Eternals because there's so many characters. And
Right.
it's
Yeah.
almost boring. It's like, come on, get with something.
Right.
Yeah.
There has to be a nice balance of what are we really doing? They're action heroes, so you know, fuck some shit up, and then maybe add some dry humor, in it, or some, funny humor.
Right.
But for the most part, stick to the script.
Yeah.
80% fucking shit up is what
Right.
needs to
Yeah.
happen.
Well,
True
that's why
enough.
I think the Iron Man movies work so well. It's because you have this character that feels everything and you can see that he feels everything, but then he has his quirky one-liners and it's like
Mm.
it brings it down to like, okay, it's not all depressing and
Hmm.
sad. And then,
Right.
he again through like life-changing stuff and how do I save everybody and how do I stop carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders, but then again quirky remarks. So there's that perfect balance of like drama and
It
humor.
it's
That's why
Yeah.
Guardians
cinematic
work.
masterpiece because you what you're doing to the audience is just putting them in an emotional roller coaster.
Pretty
Like
much, yeah.
you have, oh, I'm really sad, but then all of a sudden you break that silence and that
Hmm.
awkwardness with a joke, and it's not like it doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel like it's not supposed to be there. It just felt like it was natural. It's like how many times have you been in a tough position and you're depressed or you're sad about something and something pops in your head that it's funny or dark and you just want to say it. And that's pretty much it. It feels human when we have those moments.
Mhm.
And going back to Guardians, I think that Zoe Saldana's character, she is the I'm gonna bring you back and you're gonna say something funny, but I'm also gonna ruin it. I'm gonna say something like I'm gonna act like you're stupid by saying it. Like we're in the middle of a battle and you're saying something stupid. And that feels natural. That feels because you always
Oh, yeah.
in a group you have someone that's gonna okay, you should why are you
Right,
saying
you-
that right now?
You have that balance.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the thing though. It's like for franchises like Guardians of the Galaxy, for franchises like Iron Man, it works because there is that balance, and these like it's how those characters are. So so that's exactly what you would expect, and that's
Right.
why it didn't work for Thor Ragnarok and Love and Thunder. It didn't, and that's why it didn't resonate as well with a lot of people. And so I honestly think they should have kept more of the serious nature of Thor's character, and that going through the third and the fourth movies. And then, of course, like the overly serious, stuff didn't really work, and that's why the Eternals didn't work. That's why the
Right.
Eternals fell flat. And plus, there was no real introduction for those characters. Because if you never read the comics, you have no idea who the hell these characters are.
Right.
And so it's just like you're going through this movie like, what the hell's going on?
Right.
You're lost throughout the entire thing. And so that in and of itself, they could have just not done that movie at all, and nobody would have missed anything. Otherwise, they would have had to have done something leading into the Eternals to kind of get people familiar with these characters and get them ready for something like that.
They should have did a Disney Plus show.
Right.
Didn't we mention that in a previous episode that they could have done something similar to that just to kind of give us an introduction to all these characters?
I think that they should have used a character that we already knew, like Odin. Let's just say Odin because he's old enough to tell the story and to be in part of the story. And now we see Odin. Now it doesn't feel unfamiliar. And then introducing these characters, and you can do the problem with a lot of I enjoy a lot of shows, and I think that the shows are very well done, or movies that throughout the movie you have flashbacks of the story, and you have two stories going at the same time. You have the current story, and you have the prequel story, pretty much going side by side, and you're understanding why they're doing this in present time because they're showing you what happened that shows them what's going on or what happened before that led him to that. But when you go, this is an overused cinematic process. You have the past first, and then the present, which it makes sense, but at the same time, people are like overdone with it. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
can we change the pace a little bit? Like Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was the exact same way. You had what was happening in the present at the time, and then it would go into a flashback that explains what was happening.
Hmm.
And it kept you. It's like, oh crap. Or you see a scene and you're like, I wonder what happened before that made him think this way. And then they give you that, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And it keeps you going, and it keeps you trying to understand what's happening throughout the movie. But Eternals, I agree with all of you. It fell flat. It was too much storytelling in like chronological order that it just, okay, done. We're done with this.
All right. Moving on to number 8, Scarlett Johansson.
12.
She should be higher on the list. She's still like a cameo type of actor in these Marvel films. Even with her own, movie, she still feels like a cameo character.
Yeah, she didn't feel the main character in her movie.
It was
Yeah.
her sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with Lola in this one. Is 12, maybe 13. She should
Yeah.
definitely be a little bit lower.
I feel like she was definitely okay. So her character, she is a good actress regardless, but her character in all of you get pieces of her. I feel like in every single project that she appears on. I am so sorry if you can hear him. In every single project that she appears on, so you get a storyline and you get that you know it wasn't always Avengers and this and that, especially during that Civil War. Is it Civil War? It's not Civil War. It's Winter Soldier, where she's like, I thought I was doing good. I thought I was doing things for the better, but it just seems like I just traded the KGB for Hydra. She's trying her best. She's human and she's doing
Right.
what she thinks is best, but still failing, and that happens sometimes. So
All she
I
did
feel
was
like
switch sides.
correct. So I like her. I like her character, and I like her portrayal of that character.
I have a question for you guys. Do you feel like she is number 8 or in the top 20 because she was part of the original Avengers? If she would have came in after, do you think that she would be in this top list?
Well, she came in Iron Man too.
No, I understand, but that's what I mean. It's phase 1. Like she's been there, so we are used to her.
She's had more time than others to
Right.
build her character, but like Lola was saying, like you get bits and pieces of it,
Right.
Building up towards like finally, knowing more when they finally put out her like origin movie.
Right.
And yeah, so I honestly, I would say she would probably be a lot lower on the list if she had started any later in the Infinity Saga than she actually did. And depending on how late, I think would probably determine whether or not like she would even be on the list at all.
Right. I think her movie would have done better if it would have been earlier in the phases, because people were still we weren't nitpicking the first 3 phases. We were, this was great because we had a lot of great movies. But then when this movie came out, it was already in the mix of, we are all like, shit, is it really good? Is it a good movie? Because we, at this point, we're nitpicking. We've been disappointed with some of the movies that now we're brought back to reality that these movies can be shit.
You find yourself questioning whether this movie was even necessary.
Right.
I agree to disagree. I think her movie wouldn't have done well back in the day, because back in the day she was just the pretty face. of the Avengers is just that. That's why we only got bits and pieces of her.
Mm.
And
But they
it
could
wasn't
have
until her like quote unquote fan base grew that they were like, okay, well they keep asking for it, so here, have that.
Right.
they could
And
have done
I
the
think
movie
her
after the first Avenger.
I don't think doing her movie after the first Avengers movie would have done her any favors because
Yeah.
it would have. I think it would have
Well, you
drawn
have less
less.
things to compare it to. I mean, after after Endgame, nobody else
Right. And
anything.
also, you gave us a movie about a character that's already dead.
True enough. I honestly think they should have put that movie out before Infinity War. Definitely before Infinity War.
Mhm.
I think it would have made sense there. But honestly, I think it kind of made sense, based on her character's build up over her numerous appearances and like like Lola said, the bits and pieces of the story that you were getting.
Right.
It made sense in that respect. I think for her to have her own movie, I think it was just the placement and the timing of that movie didn't really do it any favors because it's like she's already dead. Why are we getting this?
Right. Is this before? Is this like?
Yeah.
You had a lot of questions.
Mhm.
Why is this happening now? And now you
What should
get
have happened was she should have got her own Disney Plus show. I keep saying that, but imagine where she would have got her own Disney Plus show and Invasion Wars merged because that's when they meet Samuel Jackson's character and you know Black Widow is where she escapes from the you know what is it called, like the secret
Red
agent
Room.
Red Room,
yeah.
Yeah.
and Samuel L. Jackson is escaping from the alien invasion, and they meet each other, and that would have been a great Disney show to just merge the two.
Right.
So I kind
But
of
they
agree with.
actually go ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
for it. I was gonna say I agree with what you were saying about the placement of the movie. Maybe before Infinity War, there is a very like what's it called, like sad factor about the fact that they finished her movie as she's about to meet Captain America, but that is the beginning of the end for her, essentially the path that
Mm.
she's on. So I feel like they ended, and the movie was good, is alright actually, but the movie was the information they threw out, excellent information. I feel like they should have done something, they should have elaborated more on the Red Room and the ladies,
Right.
and that process of like taking them and all that stuff, because they, yeah, sure, in passing is kind of how they give you the information, but I feel like
Mm.
if they had shown you the actual process of how he handpicks them and trains them, that would have been better.
Right. So a different storyline.
Eh,
Well, a different storyline than what we got.
yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Or maybe meet in the middle, like you were saying earlier about the back and forth, like show how they got her. I think they took her away from her mom or something like that. It's what they explain in the movie.
Yeah, I think so.
So that stuff, and they did do the back and forth, but she was already a trained spy as a
Right.
child, but already a trained spy.
Right.
So
I think they probably could have, like, I would, building off of what Jose was saying, having like either doing it in the way of like a movie or like a Disney Plus series, like, chronicling her, like getting away from the Red Room and then getting on like she herself had said, getting on Shield's radar in a bad way, and meeting up with Clint Barton and
Right.
that whole interaction, and her
That
and then
too.
her meeting and then her like induction into Shield.
yeah,
They never showed us what happened in Budapest.
Budapest. Yeah,
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like they mention it
Numerous
three or
times.
four different times, like 3 or 4 different times in what is it, like 2 or 3 different Avengers movies?
yeah. They do kind of show though. Again, it's in passing, sort of.
Right.
They
Yeah.
show you like one snippet of what happened in Budapest, but not how her and Clint, like, teamed up and how he saved her and all that stuff. I feel like
Right.
maybe that would have even been a better storyline.
Right.
It's definitely possible, but I think honestly, too much time I think is gone for them to actually spend time doing that. I don't think, and plus I don't know, what terms, whether like they're even on speaking terms, Scarlett and Disney and all
Well,
that.
she's doing a
So
project for them right now. It's
Yeah,
going to be a series.
I heard she's renewing her contract, so I'm thinking she might come back in Deadpool.
Well,
Whoa.
I hadn't thought about that.
Calm down.
that's something we actually didn't think about. Shocking. Hey, there we go.
Because I knew that she was like in good terms with them again. Because at the end of the day, it's business. You know you fucked her over. And it was only natural for her to say, "No, you're not gonna fuck me over." Especially after this whole actor and writer strike that they kind of were put on the hot seat. All the major studios.
Oh yeah.
So.
Absolutely. All right, moving on at number 7, Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther.
I like where he's at. 6 or 7 or 5 or 6.
I think top 5 also.
Yeah.
Top 5.
But high top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played
It's
a
a
great
shame. He
role.
he could have been the best ever if he didn't pass,
Right.
God bless him.
Yeah, it's a shame. Like it sucks how things turned out. Like he could have been so much more, and the character could have gone so much further if if that hadn't happened.
Right.
And it's and it sucks. Like he having like kept that so close to his chest. Like nobody outside of like his close family even knew
Right.
about any of this until it just happened.
Well, that's the thing about where the MCU is at now. Because I think I mentioned this before that they already knew what was going to happen in Endgame, which was Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man passing, and then Captain America giving away his shield.
Yep.
They were already planning to have Black Panther be the leader of the Avengers and be the new Iron Man, essentially. But with his passing, now they don't have that leader. They don't have who the character was. So they're probably trying to figure out who the leader is. That's why sometimes we'll get a like a bunch of movies of them trying to figure out who is going to be. And they're all falling flat because there's no leadership in the team.
Pretty much.
And Iron Man in the first 3 phases, he was almost in every single movie. And somehow. But they don't have that right now. They don't have that familiar face of, hey, you're doing this and we need you to get your shit together.
Wang is
Yeah.
Wong.
Wong. The wrong Wong.
The wrong one.
Wong.
He is the face of Marvel right now.
That's fucking funny. I mean, he might as well be because they put him in fucking everything.
Yeah. Maybe would you say Doctor Strange would be a good like leader?
I think the original plan
No.
before Chadwick's passing, it was supposed to be Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel were supposed to be positioned from that point going forward as like the 3 key members of the next Avengers team.
Right.
But with Chadwick's passing, that kind of screwed up their plans entirely. Plus the fact that everybody hates Brie Larson. So that wasn't going to go over well anyway. So now they're just kind of scrambling. And it's like, we're well into phase 5 and they're still trying. It seems like they're still trying to figure this shit out. Like,
I think that I think that Deadpool is going to be that leader.
I can imagine. I can only imagine.
And I don't mean like the leader of the Avengers. I mean the leader of the face of the movies. Because there's no one else. Who else? Because here's the thing: we haven't seen the movie yet, okay? But the three that you mentioned, unfortunately, one passed, and the other two had movies that kind of fell flat. Okay, one of them kind of fell flat. The other one felt like completely flat.
Yep.
So now you don't have that. Who are you going to have as a leader? Spider-Man?
The only thing I would say is Spider-Man, but because they're still owned by Sony, Disney doesn't want to keep paying Sony.
Right.
And so, but he would be the only one to really contend.
Well, as it stands right now, the MCU Spider-Man is a bit young as far as that goes. So, I don't think that he could really take on a leadership role as it stands. And there will be another Spider-Man movie coming out for the MCU. That much is confirmed. So,
And a Prime show too. They just announced that Nicolas Cage is going to be in a live action.
Oh, yes.
Spider-Man Noir.
Yep.
On Prime.
Yep. I did read that this morning.
And I hope it's rated R.
Well, you never know. You never know. But yeah, going back to the original topic at hand, I think I would agree with Lola here. I definitely top 5. Maybe like a solid 6, definitely, but he should be a little bit
Not
higher.
a 7. Not a 7.
No.
He should be at least 1 or 2 spots higher, I think.
Yep.
All right, moving on. At number 6, Hugh Jackman,
Top
Wolverine.
3. I was going to say that top 3.
Yes. Easily top 3.
It's been 20 plus years.
Yep.
I also think that he's not
based on the franchise.
I think that he's not top 5 because of the movies being older than all these recent movies and
Than the MCU. He just joined the MCU.
Voting. Right. People see him as like, oh, who's this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, they know who it's coming from, but at least like they don't have anything recent in their heads, and people are just voting. But yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing though. This list is concerning like every actor that has ever been in Marvel.
Right.
Whether it's MCU, Fox, whatever.
Right, but I'm just saying like it's not fresh in their heads. So if you notice, the top list is like their past like 10 years. Except him and
Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, who else in previous, like before 10 years, 10 years ago, who else is going to be on that list? Toby?
I mean, Tobey Maguire, I don't think is going to be on this list.
Andrew Garfield could definitely have been in this list.
I would have expected Andrew Garfield to be on this list because I mean he is incredibly talented, and not just with Spider-Man, but with all of the There you go. Not just
amazing.
But not just yeah. Is there an echo? I wonder.
No, I'm just delayed.
Yeah.
You now got it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but like I said, not just with Spider-Man, but with a lot of the other movies that he's done. I mean, the obvious one for me that comes to mind is Hacksaw Ridge. Like that.
Yeah.
Really cemented for me like his acting ability.
Yep. I agree with that.
Oh yeah. Jose, what do you think?
About Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I agree.
So he should definitely be at least top 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I gotcha. All right. Top 5 we're getting into now. Chris Hemsworth, Thor.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Only because
I think
Love and Thunder.
Jackman should be
And
up there
Ragnarok.
before.
I never hated Love and Thunder. don't see the hate of it, but hey, people
It's
don't like
compared to the other ones.
Hey, the worst Thor was the second one
Yeah, I can see that.
and first one.
No, the
Both were
first.
And
I
all
like
of
the
them.
first two. I don't like the
boring.
last two.
Yeah, it's see, I'm on the same page with Lola because it's like I enjoyed the more serious ones than
Yeah.
a lot more than I did the more comedic ones because it just like the over the top like comedy just didn't really fit Thor's character all that well.
You can see that with the shows that we
Especially
like.
Love and Thunder.
With the shows that we like, I'm more on the comedic side. You're more on the
Right.
serious. You like Andor. That sucks, but okay.
Oh, I finished Andor, by the way. Side note, fucking fantastic show.
Yes.
Amazing ending.
Can't finish it. I'm
You
never
guys,
gonna watch it.
no. Seriously, I'm gonna take you guys to task. You literally do not know what you're missing for not watching Andor. I'm telling you, especially in the latter half of the season with some of the people that appear on it and a lot of the exposition, especially on the last couple of episodes. It is fucking incredible, and I'm telling you, peak fucking Star Wars writing, especially when you consider that it's coming from Disney. I was shocked with this fucking series. I am telling you, please give this series a shot. Give it a fair shot, and I guarantee you will enjoy it.
Please, can I have some more?
Also, Aunt Petunia is in it, so do you like Harry Potter?
I don't care about the actors much. In a lot of
It's funny
stuff.
because my next thing was gonna say, like, at least represent.
I am.
Oh man, yeah. No,
anyways,
seriously, you guys are missing out
it is really
for
good.
not watching that series. All right. But yeah, that
4.
being said, let's move on. Let's move on. Number 4, Tom Holland, Peter Parker.
Top 5 for sure.
I think he's in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Can we have a
Yeah.
list of like top 5 of like A and B and C? Then we have 3 top 5 list.
Yeah.
Now let's just stick with what we got here. Now, I honestly think he is right about where he needs to be. I think maybe if I were to bump him down, I'd say bump him down maybe one spot, like guaranteed top 5. But I think he's comfortable where he's at. Jose, what about you?
4 out of 20.
Top 10.
So you would bump him down a bit further than that?
He would
Going
definitely be in
closer
the
to 10?
top 10. I think.
Okay.
I think he does a good job for Marvel. And so he deserves to be on the top 10.
Right.
Hmm.
He
Oh,
has
absolutely.
saved the MCU sometimes.
A couple times, yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely elevated their prospects. I honestly don't think that the Infinity Saga would have been as good had they not been able to get Spider-Man in this franchise.
Agreed.
All right, moving on to number 3. So we're on podium positions here. Number 3, Chris Evans, Steve Rogers.
I'm
Again,
good where he's
number
at.
at top 5.
I think that's a good number for him.
Well, I mean, considering that we bumped Jackman up to number 3, I think I would bump him down to 4.
I said top 3. I still need to know the other 2
Yeah.
because it could be number 2, Hugh Jackman, or number 1.
Oh,
You know what I mean? But I also
Yeah.
know that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be number 1. I haven't looked at it. I'm just
I think we
going.
can pretty much assume that he's going to be number 1.
well,
But
let's guess who number 2 is though. Since we're already in 3, we all agree that he's yes. Who number 2 will be?
that's a good question because who haven't we seen?
A lot.
I hope Clint Barton is not number 2 because I'm going to throw this Because I'm not
Nah.
saying
If we hadn't seen him by now, then he's not on this list. Like there's no chance that Hawkeye's on this list.
right. Ryan Reynolds is number 2 or number 1, and Robert Downey Jr.
I would assume, yeah. I can't believe I fucking forgot about that. Yeah, Deadpool either has to be number 2 or number 1 on this list.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of banking on RDJ as number 1.
All right.
So
Please.
yeah, drum roll. Number 2 is Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool.
I disagree.
Why?
I don't have the other the other one.
Okay, when I said that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be a number 1, it's not because I wanted him to be a number 1. I was just going with what the list has given us.
Mhm.
So I was assuming that he was going to be number 1. To me, Ryan Reynolds needs to be number 1. And Hugh Jack. Actually, let's go with Chris Evans, moving him to 4.
Mhm.
Robert Downey Jr. 3, Hugh Jackman 2, Ryan Reynolds 1. That's
That's your pick.
I disagree. I think
I-
Ryan Reynolds is. I think Ryan Reynolds is at the perfect spot where he's at. Hugh Jackman is number 3. Chris Evans is number 4, and RDJ. I mean, he's going to be number 1. Like if it's anyone else but Robert Downey Jr., I will literally shut my fucking computer off and somebody else can do the goddamn outro.
All right,
Jose, what do you think?
So I'm just having a hard time with this list because it's like, are we comparing the actual actors to the comic books? Like, I just don't think he's like
No,
a
this
great
is-
actor. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Where he could win. Like, are we talking about actors? Then Chadwick Boseman deserves to be, in the talks of like top 3. We're talking about actors.
I think it's the way that they
Saying-
portrayed their characters.
Okay, yeah, but so then if that's the case, I think he's number 5 on my list.
Ryan Reynolds.
We skipped over Hugh Jackman as portrayals. My man looks exactly like straight out the comic book.
Mhm.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, for him to be so low on the list, it's not for me, but I can see why they would put him on top 2.
Yeah, I would put him at like a 9 or a 10. There's definitely way better actors on this list than Ryan Reynolds.
But yes, but also playing their characters. You think that they are better than Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool? Because, and the reason I say that, and this is bias, obviously, but Ryan Reynolds, outside of playing Deadpool, he is his demeanor, his real character as Ryan Reynolds is pretty much a blueprint of Wade Wilson. Like
So,
anywhere
to
you see
answer-
him in interviews or anything, he acts the same way.
Right,
answer
and
your
that's why it's
question-
not in the top of the list for many people because of that.
Right. I can see
Yes.
that.
He's not
Lola.
acting because he's playing himself.
Easy for him to do it
Right.
because he does it well. I mean, I don't think nobody does it better than him when it comes to that particular acting. It's just being himself. But yeah,
From what I heard, from what I read, like he's not. I wouldn't necessarily say he's playing himself. Like he's playing a character. Like when he does interviews and things like that, because if you like see him as himself, he's more like I've heard this and read it in articles and things like that. If he doesn't do interviews as like that character and act like how he does, he's more like he calls himself like camera shy. Like he doesn't like to be himself when he's talking to people, doing interviews and things like that. He likes to be the character.
Yeah.
So he
And so
embodies
that's how he does
Deadpool
it.
to
And
be
so
able to feel
he-
comfortable.
Pretty much, yes. That is exactly.
Lola,
how it's
what were you going to
presented.
say?
To answer your question, the name of the thing is 20 best movie Marvel movie actors. I don't think he's one of the best Marvel movie actors. That's why I mentioned like Angela Bassett and Letitia Wright that are way better than a lot of the actors that are on this list. But somehow Dave Bautista made it and Samuel Jackson made it. So
Well, I mean, it was a fan voted, so basically it's more
Yeah.
it's more of a popularity contest than anything else.
Right.
yeah,
Nobody even mentioned Ben Affleck.
Who?
Who?
Ben Affleck.
I don't know who that is.
I have no idea.
What?
yeah.
A lot
Jennifer
of people
Lopez
didn't like.
is
A
No,
lot of
I-
people
I-
didn't like
I-
his
I-
Daredevil.
We know, but we're just
But as Daredevil, because that's the only Marvel
Yeah.
character that he played, and
No, that what I'm saying is a joke, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's,
tell me, I'm like, you guys don't even know who that is.
yeah, that's why it was also a joke when I said
Yeah.
I don't know who
Yeah.
that is.
yeah.
I hear he's coming back though. I hear he's coming back as a alternate universe.
I will take that over any Tom Cruise.
Iron Man.
Yeah, no.
Tom Cruise as Wolverine will be funny though.
I will leave the theater
No,
unless
you
he
would
gets
not.
killed.
Dude, your boyfriend will be in the movie, so you
Okay,
would not
good.
leave it.
Good. Well, it depends. With Tom Cruise being there might just
Oh, yeah. All right. Moving on. Number 1, to nobody's surprise whatsoever, Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark.
Well deserved.
Absolutely. That. Yep. RDJ absolutely deserves to be number 1 on this list. Period.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know. Agree to
Top three.
disagree. Blah blah blah.
He did play the character where it's funny, it hits the feelings, he played all the parts. That's why.
and he
He is
played
up
it
there.
from the beginning to the end.
Well,
So-
I mean, he like Hugh Jackman, like Ryan Reynolds, like they were like the best fit for the characters that they were cast as. Simply put,
Right.
like you're going to be hard pressed to find anybody that can play these characters like they have. Well, and I've said it before, not impossible, but extremely, extremely difficult.
Right. And going back to Yadi's point earlier about Ryan Reynolds, like it's easy for Ryan Reynolds to play Deadpool because that's pretty much who he is, but at the same time, Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark.
Mhm.
Like he's very he's humble in his way, but he's still kind of cocky.
You can see it in like most of the characters. I mean, Brad Pitt, Chris Pratt. Like that's him. Like you will see the actor, like the way that they act is basically the way they behave. Mainly because that's what we see in public, like in the interviews and whatnot. It's just
Mhm.
the way they are. It's like The Rock. The Rock is The Rock and everything.
Yeah, it's watching the same character.
right. Vin Diesel, same.
Yeah. Familia.
I think what separates that though is the fact that The Rock is The Rock, right? But we're not considering him a great actor, and that's goes to my point with Ryan
Live
Reynolds. He's
broadcast
not
would
a
end
great
in
actor.
5
He
seconds.
plays himself. The difference between Robert Downey Jr. is that he knows how to set different points. He
Right.
knows when to die a proper death. He knows when to be cocky at the cockiest point of his life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He has different emotions, and that's what separates somebody who maybe acts like that in real life, but he's a great actor at the end of the day.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can see that. I understand completely. And I'm glad that you, as a professional actor, and that's not a
I
joke.
enjoy the arts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You see it in a different way. You see it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate that perspective because we
Absolutely.
see it as we see it as fans, and like I said before, I think Ryan Reynolds should have been hired, but you see it differently. And I respect your opinion because you see it in the form of the art, not what this list is a popularity contest.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
And
it's definitely an interesting list.
right. And here I am defending Ryan Reynolds. We all, not we, a lot of people say that he's not a great actor. And even he pokes fun at it in the first Deadpool. You think that Ryan Reynolds would have been as popular as he is for his acting method?
Yeah.
Have you seen Amityville?
No.
I have not actually.
Amityville is top acting, not just for Ryan Reynolds. He plays an amazing character, and you see him and you're feeling for him even though he's possessed. So it's I think the problem is that he rather do rom-coms than anything else, but when he's acting, he's acting. But that's just my opinion.
He has potential.
He does. It's just I feel like
Adam's Project was a really good movie too. He kind of plays that same kind of funny character, but it still has serious notes.
moments. I still haven't seen it, which is
Oh my god,
odd that I
you're
haven't seen
missing
it.
out.
Yeah, same.
It's such a good movie. Just get some tissues.
Oh, jeez.
Because Ryan Reynolds is in it.
Yep, you love it.
Oh, for a different reason.
Use it whatever you want. I don't know what you want to use the tissues with. I just clean my face, but
I will too, but that's just for another reason.
Oh, you mean something like this?
I'm touching
Myself tonight. Yes. All right,
Oh,
Lola,
man.
what do you feel about Robert Downey Jr. like being top one?
I love it. Like I said, range makes a great actor.
That's the thing about Robert Downey Jr. It doesn't matter what character he plays. We don't see Tony Stark. It's like Johnny Depp. He can play. He played what's his name, Captain Jack Sparrow for so long, but every time he does another character, we don't see Jack Sparrow. We see whatever character he's playing. And Robert Downey Jr. falls on that. He has an amazing range, and he can play any character and embody any character he wants, but we don't see the same character in a different movie. Although I see Tony Stark in what's it called? Sherlock Holmes, but that's different.
Well, he did bring a small piece of Sherlock Holmes into Avengers Infinity War with his interaction with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
And when he was talking about, making their plan, and then his, what was that line? Do you concur? Like that was a nod because they were both Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock Holmes, best one.
Robert Downey Jr.'s was a funnier version. They were both different, but I agree with you. I just think that the difference is that Robert Downey Jr.'s version was a funnier version.
Yeah. And I'm sure that was intentional.
Correct. Correct. So we've had 3 superheroes playing Sherlock Holmes.
Trying to remember who was the third one.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Oh, yeah. How could I have forgotten that?
We got Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Superman.
Yeah, there you go.
Top 3 superheroes too. Like
Yeah.
not top superheroes, not top 3, because Doctor Strange, he's not my top 3.
I mean, I don't think he's in really anybody's top 3. I mean, not that he's not a good superhero, actor, but
Right.
definitely not that far up there. All right, so I know we're getting a little bit over time, but there is one more thing I want to do before we close out this episode, and I am sure 3 of you know exactly what that is. So we're gonna get a little intro going.
1 second.
Hello, this is intern Steve. Welcome to This Week in Nerdy History with your host, the man who does more with one brain cell than most do with their entire brain, Justin.
That's right, everybody. Welcome once again to This Week in Nerdy History, where we take a look at key moments in history for video gaming and personal computing, as well as celebrity birthdays for those who are in nerdy stuff and more things there. Wait, what did I just see on Discord?
It's pause, I guess. Jose has to leave.
No. I take it you got to be up early.
Well, no. Now I'm curious. We got the how much longer? Because you said you were over time.
Yeah, I'm only gonna do half of this. I'm just gonna do the nerdy birthdays since we're running. I mean, normally we run like an hour, and yeah, we're running way over time, and so
What are the
yeah.
this into?
I don't think we're gonna need to do that, but yeah, no. I blame Lewis showing up like 3/4 of the way through.
You also
No,
didn't start until later. What the fuck?
It's all good. No big worries. All right. So, getting into this week in nerdy history for the nerdy birthdays this week, the week from May 8th to the 14th, starting off with Stephen Amell turning 43 on May 8th. He was the title character for the CW series Arrow. Rosario Dawson turned 45 on May 9th. She was in Clerks 2, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. She was Claire Temple in the Daredevil series from 2015 and Ahsoka Tano in the Star Wars franchise. Kenan Thompson turns 46 on May 10th. He was in D2, The Mighty Ducks, for those who know about that. He was also in some shows, Kenan and Kel, All That, the movie Good Burger, and he joined in 2003 the cast of Saturday Night Live. Madison Lintz turned 25 on May 11th, first introduced to audiences as Sophia in the AMC series The Walking Dead. Emily Van Camp turned 38 on May 12th. She famously played Sharon Carter in Captain America and the Winter Soldier and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Domhnall Gleeson turned 41 on May 12th. He famously played Bill Weasley in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows 1 and 2. And General Hux in Star Wars The Force Awakens. Robert Pattinson turned 38 on May 13th. He famously played Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire and Bruce Wayne / Batman in the 2022 film The Batman.
And your favorite vampire.
Fuck off. Fuck right off. Kate Blanchett turned 55 on May 14th. So happy birthday, Kate Blanchett. She famously played Galadriel in The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, Hela in Thor Ragnarok and Marvel's What If, and Valka on How to Train Your Dragon 2 and 3. And last but certainly not least, the man, the myth, the legend himself, George Lucas, turned 80 today. So happy birthday, George Lucas. He is the legendary creator of Star Wars, Indiana Jones, the founder of Lucasfilm, LucasArts, Industrial Light and Magic, and THX. So happy birthday to Kate Blanchett and George Lucas. We salute you. And that does it for this week in nerdy history. And we are going to go ahead and call it good for one episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. Thank you also to our guest, Jose. We enjoyed the amazing conversation that we had with you as well. So thank you so very much.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. This was really fun. I don't really get to talk Marvel that often.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had a really
We
great
do.
time. If you guys need another guest appearance, let me know for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. 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 All right. With that being said, follow us on all of our social platforms down through the link in the description. The link tree, the website is currently down, but that we'll be working at some point to get that back up when we can. But the link tree will be down in there in its place. We also have a Discord, incredible community of like-minded nerds. So join us there. We look forward to having you there. So yeah, I'm rambling. So boil it all down. What can they do, Lola?
Like all the things.
And that was
that
not
voice.
voice mod.
No, it was not. And it was amazing. You heard the lady, folks. Click all the things and join our incredible community. We look forward to
Sounded
seeing
like
you
an
there.
alien.
That was the point.
That was awesome. We definitely need to keep that. Somebody clip that for voice mod.
We will.
Yes. All right. With that being said, I've rambled on long enough. We're going to get the hell out of here. For Lewis, Lola, Yadi, our special guest, Jose, I'm Justin. Thanks again for watching the Nerd Archive podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Deuces.
Bye.
Yeah.